Hey, it's your boy KP, and I am back with another episode of The Kyle Petty Show. This time, I had the pleasure of sitting down and chatting with Emily Gates, who is currently starring as the narrator in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We had an absolutely lovely conversation, and I can't wait to share that with you. But first, I want to share a little dilemma that I've recently had. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. So, the relationship between like a guy and his barber, I feel like is very sacred, And ever since I moved, like back in October, like driving 40 minutes to get to the barber is it's a lot. Okay. And I'm telling you, I grinded this out until like the end of March. But like now we're at a point where like, I gotta move on. I gotta move on. So I found an awesome guy, like that's 18 minutes away with traffic, right? So probably like 15. Like, come on. I mean, that's less than half the amount of time. How could you not? How could you not? So really feeling a lot of anxiety about this. I walked in, I'm like, hello, like very pensive. But everything went great. We're so happy. Look at this. Oh, it's great. I'm thrilled. But what do I do about my ex-barber? Because it's not his fault. I mean, that's always where he worked. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with him. It feels like a breakup. And it's like, and truly, it's like, it's not you. Like, it's me. And it's like, so what does one do? Let me know in the comments. Like, how have you broken up with your barber or hairdresser or anything like that? Do you send them a text? Do you just not say anything? Like, I mean, granted, if you really want to boil it down and like, just get to the bottom of this whole thing, one could just say, hey, I'm a customer. I moved on. So sorry. No reason to say anything, right? Like, working at the bank, if somebody closes their accounts, it's not like they go on a big apology tour around the branch and let everybody know that they're so sorry. And it's like, but, that relationship feels personal, So like, what do y'all do? Because you ain't had the same barber for your whole life. You haven't had the same hairdresser the entire time. So let me know how you handled it. And Dave, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Love you forever. Maybe I'll swing by and say hello. Complimentary cut every now and again, like just to catch up, a catch-up cut. Maybe we'll call it that, like once a quarter or something. But the 45-minute drive out, it's a lot. It's a lot. But okay, so there's my dilemma. I shared that. I guess the only other thing that's worth mentioning, we're going to keep saying it. I know we mentioned it in the Emily conversation. I will mention it at the end of this episode. I'm going to mention it now because it's very important. April 5th. We want to show up and show out at CM Performing Arts Center to support the Dowdell family, namely Dylan Dowdell and his challenges with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So when you're purchasing your ticket, please use the promo code Dylan so that some of the ticket proceeds can actually go to him in a fundraising effort for, his challenges. There's also going to be a 50-50 and some additional raffles that night too. So show up and show out, for a lovely, lovely Long Island Theater family, that's the best Long Island Theater royal family, come support. And that's it. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Emily. All right. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the Kyle Petty Show. I have the absolute honor and privilege to be chatting with the narrator, Miss Emily Gates. She is currently, playing the narrator in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat over at CM Performing Arts Center, running until April 6th. Hi, so thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
hanging
for
out.
having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is so fun.
Oh my
I
gosh,
can't
of
wait.
course. We go way, way back. When was Saturday Night Fever? That
Oh
was what,
my god.
2016?
Yeah, it had to be 2016.
Something like that. Yeah. And I have not seen you since then. I haven't seen you do anything on stage. So to see you in this was it really knocked my socks off. I was so,
Thank
so
you. Thank you
impressed. Like
so
your voice
much.
is so, so sick.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for taking some time to talk to little old me.
Of course.
Um,
I'm happy to. This
yay.
seems so
Yay.
much fun. I'm so excited.
Oh, I can't wait. Um, So let's introduce you to people who don't know you.
Yeah.
You know the deal here. Imagine it's the very first read through, right? You're meeting everybody in the cast for the first time. Everybody's going around the table. What do you say? What do you tell people about yourself?
So, I've been doing theater since I was 10 years old. I've been around for, oh my gosh, 17 years doing shows.
Mhm.
Mostly like I did a lot of workshops. I did like productions over the rainbow growing up. That was a
Mhm.
huge part of my theater experience. I am a big reader. I love to read.
Good.
I got my bachelor's in English. I love to read so much. Um, I play video games in my spare time. I'm a huge Nintendo gamer. I love Pokemon and Zelda.
No
And
way.
yeah,
Well,
oh yeah,
Pokemon kind of eludes me. I did buy there was that open world one. I don't know,
yeah.
Ruby and Diamond or something.
Arceus is open world.
Oh.
And what's so funny about that, my partner Michael Crolder, who is actually also in Joseph as
Mhm,
Simeon,
mhm.
he's a huge Pokemon guy. So I knew of Pokemon and I played the games before, but he's the one that really like got me into it, and like I know so much about
Oh,
Pokemon
I
now.
love that. Oh,
Yeah,
cool. You
yeah.
see, I'm a Nintendo person, but I'm really all for just, like, the original people. Like, I want anything that has Princess Peach in it is what I'm looking to
Oh my
play.
gosh, a new
Um,
game came
yeah,
out,
I
like, I
know.
think today?
Is
Today
it
it might.
today? Stop. Stop. I knew it was coming at some point.
Oh,
Right,
I
it's
wanna play
already
that
the
so
end of the
badly.
month. Yes, I love anything with Peach
So
in it,
badly.
yes. She was the
Yeah.
whole reason I bought a DS because that was when she got her first game. I was like,
Mhm.
"Get out of here. Yes, I will drop hundreds just so I can play this one game."
And I think it's like a theater related game as well. It's like from I played the demo of it and it takes place like all the platforming is on a stage and
Stop.
it's adorable. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
like everything you could want as a theater
I
person
had
and a
no
beach lover.
plans for this
Yeah.
Friday night, and maybe that is what it is. Mhm, a
Yeah.
glass of wine and Princess Peach.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
100%.
I totally
Um
usurped your, introduction here.
No, it's fine. Um, but I also work full time. I recently, was hired as a, health and wellness coordinator for
Oh,
Wegmans,
nice. Oh, okay.
which is exciting. They're opening a Wegmans food market in Lake Grove
Finally,
next year.
finally.
I'm
Love
really excited
Wegmans,
about it.
yeah.
It's a fun opportunity. Yeah, and that's a little bit about me, I
Good,
suppose.
very cool. Alright, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here,
Yeah.
right? 2 truths and a lie. You got something
Ooh.
for me?
I do. I have to pull it up on my phone, the 3 things I have, because 'cause I'm never gonna remember them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Alright,
So,
here we go. Hold on.
I'm very
Yes, get
excited
a
about
piece of
this.
paper ready. Make sure I'm ready for this. Keep track of everything. Go
Okay.
ahead. What we
So,
got?
my first acting gig was a commercial when I was 6 years old.
Mhm.
I was a big fan of drawing and used to draw comics that would run in newsday papers. Um,
Mm.
and I wrote and produced a song that was picked up by a streaming platform for indie artists called A Break Music, where it charted in the top 15 for 2 weeks.
Wow, so your 2 truths and a lie were very quick. Alright. No extra fluff and things here. So a
No.
commercial at 6 years old.
Mhm.
What was the other context around that?
Ooh, I can give you more context. So, it was actually a electronics commercial,
Mhm.
for PC Richard& and Sons,
PC
and
Richards.
yeah,
Very Long
old
Island.
school.
Yeah, very Long Island.
Um, and, my dad my whole family was actually in it, and my dad, I think, worked with them in some way. I'm not entirely sure the whole rigmarole about, like, how he got
Mhm.
us the job, but me, my brother, my mom, and my dad were all in this commercial. I've never seen the commercial.
Mm.
I don't
Oh.
even know if it's I've, like, tried to look it up. I don't even know if it's floating in the ether anywhere. My grandpa claimed that he saw it once, but I've never seen the commercial ever.
Okay.
But I was in it and I got paid for it
Alright,
at 6
nice.
years
Went
old,
to our
so yeah.
college funds.
Yeah, yeah,
So number 2, you're a big fan of drawing, and there was something else in there?
yeah. I'm a big fan of drawing and,
Mhm.
I used to draw comics that
Oh.
would run in Newsday.
Mm.
My dad actually used to work for Newsday, so that was,
Oh.
so he because I would draw all the time, he would bring these drawings to the editors, and they would stick it in there with the Sunday cartoons.
Oh,
It was
fun.
fun. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
couple of them framed.
And what was your third one?
I wrote and produced a song that was picked up by, an indie, streaming label called A Break Music, and it charted at,
Oh,
number 13 for 2 weeks in the top 50.
really?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's called Dead Hearts.
Dead
It's about a
Hearts.
breakup that I went through.
Oh my gosh. See, you have too much context now. I don't know what to believe here. All right. So number one,
Yeah.
we're in a commercial. 6 years old.
Mhm,
For PC Richards with the whole family.
mhm.
Number two, big fan of drawing. Used to draw comics, and some of them have even been featured in Newsday.
Yes.
And number three, wrote and produced a song that was on an indie label, charted at number 13, Dead Hearts.
Mhm.
I wonder if you're being tricky like Will was. I wonder if all three are true and just one little fact about it is not so. Um,
It could
we,
be that could definitely be the case. It could
I
definitely be
know
the
that's
case.
how he got me, except I actually did get a W that time. I actually did pick his. But what could the lie here be?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
I
like,
don't
"How can I
know.
make this super hard?"
I know, and this one really is. There was a lot of story around the commercial. I don't
Mhm.
think I think that's true. I think that's definitely
Okay.
true. Fan of drawing, you draw comics. It does make sense that you would be a fan of drawing, because you like to read and like very artsy. Um,
Mhm.
and wrote produce a song. I'm gonna say that's the lie, but I do believe you wrote and produced a song. Maybe it didn't chart at 13, maybe it was 12, maybe it was 14. I'm gonna I'm gonna say number three is an untruth.
That's your final answer?
Uh, Now that you put it like that, now I'm not sure. I'm gonna say yes. I'm doubling down. Number
Yeah,
three.
you're right. It's not
Oh,
so
yay! Oh
so
my gosh,
what's
two in a
actually so
row.
funny is it's true, but it's not me, it's my brother. My brother wrote and produced a
Ah,
song that charted at
okay,
number 13 on an indie
nice.
record label. He's unreal. I
Is
could
it is
never
it called Dead Hearts though? Is that
it
actually what it's called?
so the real name of the song is called "Lie," but
Okay.
I thought that might give it away as the lie, and, like, it's a cheeky little thing that I would do.
Right.
So I that's also not true. The name of
Awesome.
the song is actually called "Lie."
Whew. All
Yeah,
right. I
no, that
got
was
another
good.
one.
I thought I was gonna stump you, but no, you got it, you
Listen,
got
I'm
it.
becoming sharp. These
Yeah.
daytime conversations are better for me. We're not
Yeah,
doing any more at night anymore. Daytime availability only. All right. Awesome. Yay me.
yeah, yeah, no, that
Um,
was good. I thought for sure that might have been a little rough, but I'm
awesome.
glad you got
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. All right. So you're starring in Joseph, right? You are the narrator in
Yes.
that production. Absolutely fantastic, needless to
Thank you so
say.
much. Thank
So
you.
people who are new to this show, they're new to theater. Like, how would you summarize Joseph? What can they expect?
So Joseph is based on a story from the book of Genesis.
Mhm.
And it's a story about a man named Joseph who lives in Canaan, and essentially it's called Joseph the Amazing
Okay.
Undercover. Um,
Yeah.
but he receives a coat as a gift from his father. And it's this beautiful, elaborate, colored coat, and his brothers are extremely jealous that
Mhm.
he's got this coat and that he's the favorite, and they're kind of pushed to the side. So the whole show is essentially the brothers trying to get revenge on Joseph, and how Joseph kind of navigates life after his brothers kind of well, they sell him to slavery essentially. And it's about his life after that, and how he grows and becomes this really successful person. It's a beautiful show. It's about Will might have even said it's about redemption and forgiveness, and that's I think are huge themes in this show. Very important themes.
Absolutely. All right, perfect. So my next question for you really, is like what interested you in playing the narrator? But we do know there's a little bit of backstory about how you ended up in this role.
Yeah.
So what brought you to the role of the narrator there at CM?
Okay. So originally, I was supposed to play Eva Perón in Evita.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, there were circumstances surrounding, my being cast in that role that, it led to me making the decision to step out of that role. And as a result of me stepping down from that role, um, the board was kind enough to offer me the role of as the narrator, and it's absolutely a role that I would have liked to play at some point because I think it's so much fun and it's challenging and vocally especially. Um, but I I feel like there's a lot of things also surrounding the whole Avita situation that I've haven't really spoken about. And one of them is that I actually did not audition
Mm.
for Avita originally. I did not think that it was in my wheelhouse. I was reached out to um, come down and audition, and I spoke to a lot of people about it, and was given a lot of really mixed answers. But the general consensus from everybody was go, see who's there, see who else is at this audition, and then if you're offered the role and you feel comfortable taking the role, like by all means, we will support you. You know, we love you. We want you to do what makes you the most comfortable.
Right.
Um, so I went and auditioned. And when Ronnie called me, uh, I had evaluated the situation and I felt comfortable taking the role. And unfortunately, about a week in, I was pulled aside and I was told that uh, they were worried about my mental health. There were some things being said that I was never told. I don't exactly know what was said or who, exactly what happened. Um, but for the sake of my mental health, for the sake of my safety, for the sake of the theater, um, I felt it was, and it was my decision. I felt it was best for me to step down, and it was upsetting. It really was. I was embarrassed, really
Mhm.
embarrassed.
Mhm.
Um, and I knew that people were gonna talk, and people like didn't really know the situation. So yeah, and as a result of me stepping down, they asked if I would be willing to play the narrator in Joseph instead, and I was like, absolutely, I would love to. I think that's a fun role. It's another Andrew Lloyd Webber show.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna move forward. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that, though.
yeah, of
Thank you.
course. Thank you.
So you did ultimately, though, say yes to
I
playing the
did.
narrator,
Yeah.
right? So what would you say interested you the most in playing this role?
So, what interested me in the narrator, I've actually done Joseph once before, as a wife,
Mm,
and I
okay.
just thought the role of the it's such a vocally dynamic role, and there's so many different styles of music throughout that entire show, um,
Yeah.
and I was really interested in it for the challenge of singing an Andrew Lloyd Webber show.
Mhm.
Because his shows are mostly all music. I think they all are all, like, just music all the way through. "Oh, yeah,
Y
that's me."
there you are. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they are too, actually, other than, like, The Lion King.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, yeah.
and, I it's just such I took it because I wanted to challenge, or, like, I was interested in it because I wanted to challenge myself,
Right.
vocally.
Alright, awesome. What would you say is the most rewarding part of playing this role? And the most challenging?
Honestly, the most rewarding and the most challenging, I think go hand in hand. I think it is the vocal demand of singing this show.
I'm
I
sure.
sing a majority of this show, and they're not cruising. It's belty,
No.
and it's
Yeah, you are
sometimes
belting
they're
your
in the
face off
stratosphere.
in this show.
And
Absolutely.
then there's also moments, where it's in the basement. Like, after seeing an entire show in the stratosphere right before, Jacob comes to Egypt, I'm all of a sudden in the basement after so it's hard. It's really hard, but that's also been and also the words, getting all the words. Oh my gosh, all the colors in that coat, that's hard.
Never.
It's really difficult. So, it's been extremely rewarding for me, um, to put myself or to be given the opportunity really to play this role that I once thought that I can't do that. I can't do this. So it's nice. It means a lot to myself to prove myself wrong that I can do a role like this. Um,
Absolutely.
so
And not
it's
only
it's
can you do it, you absolutely smashed it. Like, there's certain
thank
belty
you.
parts that you would
Thank
just walk out and just lean back slightly and just let it go and just walk off, and it's like, "Who the hell does she think she is?" Like, really, like, so, so impressive. Like, you d it
thank
doesn't
you.
look like it's a challenge for you at all. Like,
It's rough.
yeah.
I come off that stage every night like, oh God, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
Oh gosh, it doesn't reflect that way to the
I'm
audience, I
okay,
have to say.
that's great,
Yeah,
that's good.
no. It looks so effortless, and it's just it's so refreshing to watch. I
Thank
really love
you.
you in this part, honestly,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah. What's your favorite moment in the show?
Ooh, so I have a couple.
Okay,
Any moment that I get to interact with the cast is my favorite because a
right.
lot of this show, especially for the type of role that that the narrator is, she kinda just tells the story.
Mhm.
She
She
stands and she
narrates.
sings and she narrates it.
Right.
So, like, the moments where I can play off my partner, like, after we take a selfie, my partner, Michael Krolder, comes up to me and
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, did I blink?" And I show him the picture, and that's always it's so nice to interact with everybody.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fun.
but my absolute favorite part in the show is the entire Song of the King sequence.
Mm,
Um, because that's the moment that entire, like, first half of the 2nd act is where I'm interacting with the cast the
by the
most,
most, yeah.
and it's and me and James O'Connor, who plays the Pharaoh, we have this fun bit where, I don't wanna give it away, so I won't say, but we do have a fun bit in that show. But also I get to interact with the ladies and, we have a rapport and they're, like, trying to push me away from Joseph and, like, it's so I just any moment where I can interact, especially that moment though, but any moment that I can interact with everybody in the cast is oh, it's so much fun. It makes it so much fun. The whole show
Absolutely.
is fun, but those moments in particular are
Oh,
like
the show looks like a blast.
it's
Yeah.
it's so Joseph is fun. It's really fun.
I've
Like
always
I
stayed away from it. Anytime it's like, "Do you wanna be one of the brothers?" I'm like, "No, no," and I was
like
like, "I don't know why I keep saying no to this." Like, I think I'd really have a good time in this show.
I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people are kind of turned off by Joseph because, I don't think it's one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's most popular musicals by any
Mhm.
means, and it's kind of like a fever dream. It's kind of a trip. It's weird. It is. It's,
No,
like,
it is.
extremely bizarre. The story is easy enough to follow, but you're changing genres of music so like,
All the
so
time.
frequently.
Yeah.
You're going from, like, this hoedown where it's country to, like, to, this French ballad. Like, why are they French? I don't know. Why? Um
It's totally erratic, but, like,
to, like, an Elvis number, which is
right.
sort of it's
But I'm
but that
starting to
makes it
understand that
fun.
that's the charm of it,
It
though.
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
makes it because it's absolutely erratic, it makes there's never a dull moment in that
Right,
show.
right. Now, you're not really new to, like, theater or anything like that. Like, you
No.
certainly, as you said before, you've been performing for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So, of the shows that you've performed in, like, which one would you say is your favorite? Or can you give us, like, maybe, like, a top 3?
I think I can do a top 3. There's
The
definitely
top 3.
2 that,
Okay.
that hold a very, very special place in my heart. One of them is Jekyll and Hyde at Theater 3.
Mm,
I That show was just I think that was my absolute favorite show I've ever been in. It was so much fun. It's so dark and gritty, and it was so different, um, from anything that I've ever done.
mhm.
I think I played one of the prostitutes in that show, and it just
Oh,
was an
nice.
entirely Yeah,
Mhm.
I was an entirely different role, and and everybody was just in it, and oh, it just every night I had a blast being there, and that's when Jekyll and Hyde is one of those shows that I could do the rest of my life and not
Mm.
get bored. It's one of my favorites. Like, but the other show that holds a very special place, in my heart is actually a show I did in middle school, a Little Shop. I played Audrey in Little Shop of
100%
Horrors.
up.
And that's another one of those, cases where I was like, "I don't know if I can pull this off." Um, and you're in middle school and people kinda, like, you judge you.
Mhm, they're mean. Kids are mean.
Yeah, very mean,
They
and,
are.
I didn't feel like I could do it, um, and do it well, and it ended up being, like, one of my favorite my parents still talk about that show to this day.
Aw.
They're like, "That's our favorite show that we've ever seen you in," still.
You have a recording of it? Do you ever get to relive it?
I do have a recording of it.
Good. Okay.
It's a DVD, and I don't have a DVD player anymore, but there my mom actually took videos of it. And what's so unfortunate is watching those videos, because my mom was a huge stage mom, just always videoing me on stage. But watching those videos back and seeing how little confidence I had in myself and my abilities
Mm.
back then is kind of heartbreaking. So those are kind of hard for me to watch now, even
You
though
know, I get that.
they hold such a special place in my heart. It's just like I wish I had more confidence in myself. It kinda sucks, but
I hear
yeah.
that. I've watched old videos of things like that I did in high school, even just being in show choir. And it's
Mhm,
like, oh my gosh, how I would have had so much more fun with this today. You know, the confidence that I have now and everything. Like I remember, like you watch it and like you have fond memories of it, but you also
mhm,
watch it and you remember a little bit of like where my head was in that
right,
moment. And it's like, damn. It's like if I could have just gotten out of my head a little bit, this would have been so much more fun to remember. Yeah.
mhm.
You don't realize that you're it sounds so cliche, right? Like the old people thing to say, but you're living the best year of your life, you know? Like,
No, well,
yeah,
like, yeah, I mean, that opportunity to get to play that role even what is fantastic, and I wish that I was able to realize, um,
how good it was.
how good it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Mm.
those 2 are very, very special to me. Um, I've done so much, but those 2 stand out.
Those were the most special.
Mhm.
So of all the memories that you have, what's one of your favorite or funniest, like, on-stage moments?
Oh my gosh, I will never forget this as long as I live because it was extremely mortifying. So I I was company at Theater 3,
Mm,
from 2016 to 2017, so
really? Oh,
quite a bit ago.
yeah. That was only
Um,
so only 1 season you did that?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. So I
um,
associate you with Theater 3 and, like, being company. I didn't realize there's only just 1.
I did a lot after
Right.
I was company. I was in
Okay.
Oz after that, I was in Jekyll, I was in, Side by Side, which was the Sondheim Review, and I've done a bunch of children's theater there after my company contract.
Mm.
But this story happened during a Christmas Carol, and a Christmas Carol is one of the I for me it was probably the most difficult show to do because of how many times we were doing it.
Yeah. 'Cause it's like
So
70 something performances, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
wild. Like an absolutely unbelievable experience, but yeah, definitely, like, can take a toll, um, physically, mostly. Um, but
Mostly.
there was one show, um, and I had a friend in the audience that night too, so it makes it even worse. Um, it was a transition scene, I believe. I don't think I had any lines in this scene. It was a transition from one scene to the other, and I was just crossing, um, the stage with another cast member in the show, and
Mhm.
we were crossing, and I crossed from stage left to the stairs, stage right. Um, and I wish I could tell you that the reason this happened was because I had a hole in my skirt, and I slipped on, or like my heel got stuck in the hole, and I
Mhm.
went flying. That wasn't at all what happened. So I went to I went to take a step. The first step I took down that stairs, I went to take the step, totally missed the step.
Oh god.
Oh, I don't know if I was overexhausted or just wasn't thinking, or wasn't, I really, because I had my skirt lifted and everything. I don't know what happened. And it was almost cartoony the way my feet
Oh
flew up, like,
god.
I slid down those stairs, and from an audience perspective, I'm sure it looked awful, awful. It was so bad that there was a woman in the front row who gasped and asked me as I was going off stage if I was okay.
Oh my gosh. She totally went like ass over tiara, like
Oh my god.
down
It
the
like,
stairs.
it was mortifying, and what was even
Oh,
worse was after I made the fall and stood up, I heard my friend laugh.
oh.
He
That'd be
was
me, honestly. I
laughing.
love when people fall. I
Oh
do.
my
It's terrible.
god, like, I knew it wasn't like, but
Right.
I remember him even telling me after the show, he was like, "Are you alright?" Like,
Are
he's
you
like, "I'm
good?
sorry." I cracked up. I just, it was so unexpected, and it was kind of hilarious
Were you carrying
that
any
you
props
just,
like some, like, fish or, like, a basket,
oh
like,
my
full of
god,
bread or
it,
something like
like,
that?
and I totally did not stand back up gracefully at all, and I didn't respond to this woman because I was like, "I don't even know what to say. I have to stay in character. I'm just gonna leave."
I just get the hell out of here.
Oh, but I remember being
Oh,
so mortified about it, that it's burned in my brain, and every time I'm in a show at Theater 3 now, those stairs, I'm like, I gotta make sure I'm watching where I'm stepping, like,
I have
so
asked for
diligently.
blocking to be chained so that I don't have to use those stairs. Like, there's no railing, like, the whole thing, I mean, it is just
Oh, it was
yeah, I'm telling you,
mortifying.
it's an embarrassing moment just waiting to happen, like, absolutely, like, so
Yeah,
much danger. Danger! Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
and those skirts are long, like, you're in those long
Mhm.
skirts, and, like, I was trying to, like, just, it
Oh,
would only
poor
happen to,
baby.
but it's alright.
So
It's
sorry.
funny. I laugh
It's
about it now, but yeah,
yeah, it's a fun
absolutely.
story, yeah.
Mortifying.
So we know that Joseph closes on April 6th. What's coming up next for you after that? Has that been decided? What do you got your eyes set
So,
on?
um, I'm taking a little bit of a, well, I'm actually in the Olympians,
Oh,
at
okay.
CM right now.
That opens, what is that? That's I know that's mid-April, like some kind
Yes,
of like teen numbers. Is that 12, 13, and 14? Is that what it is?
yes.
Excellent.
So
Name that
I'm
in
in
place.
that. It's
Come
just,
on
like,
now.
not a super large role, but it'll be fun, and
Mhm.
it'll be like, yeah, it's a world premiere of a musical, and I was like, "Yeah, why not? That'd be fun."
I heard the
Um,
music in there is supposed to be super fun.
yeah, like, a lot of pop music. There's
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus and Kelly
Kelly
Clarkson and
Clarkson, that's my
Blondie.
girl.
I
Yeah.
think I think "Breakaway" is the song in the show. Yeah, and it's quirky and it's fun. And I start rehearsals for that on Monday.
Okay.
Um, and then after that, I'm kinda taking a little bit of a break. In the fall, I'm going back, to get my master's in educational theater.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so I wanna teach
And where are you doing that?
Adelphi.
Nice.
Yeah,
Alright, that's very cool. Awesome.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So for any of your upcoming projects and things, where can people find some more information about you? Like, where can they find you in social media and all that stuff?
I'm the most active on Instagram. I am on Facebook, but I don't use Facebook
I'm
very
on
often.
Facebook.
But
I don't even know how to use it anymore. It
yeah,
has changed so much over the years. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, just cross post from Instagram. I don't
yeah, that's really all I use it for, to
yeah.
cross post from Instagram. Um, but my social is my full legal name at Emily_Taylor_Gates. And I post everything about what I'm doing, my shows, monthly, like, drops occasionally. Yeah, so that's probably the best place to find me.
Excellent, excellent. And we shall do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for hanging
Thank
out with
you for
me here.
having me. This was so
Yeah.
much fun.
This was an absolute blast. It's lovely to be able to reconnect with you after all these
Yeah.
years. This is really, really special.
Yes.
Anybody
Absolutely.
listening, watching, please go to CM Performing Arts Center, see Emily, and you can also see Will and Joseph in the amazing
Yay!
Technicolor Dreamcoat until April 6th. It's also important to know they're doing something special on the 5th, though.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
everyone knows the Dowdell family. Dylan Dowdell sadly was recently diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So if you're purchasing tickets to go see Joseph on the 5th, make sure you use the promo code Dylan because a portion of the ticket proceeds will be going to the Dowdell family to help fund his treatment. I do
Mhm.
understand there's also like a beneficial 50-50 as well.
Yes.
And I saw that there's supposed to be some additional raffles and things like that.
Mhm.
I don't know what's being raffled or anything like
I
that.
don't either.
But yeah, definitely lots of reasons to go down on the 5th. But if not, closes on the 6th. You can see it anytime in between there. Um,
Yeah.
so thank you again, Emily, for hanging out.
Thank you
And
so much.
we're
Thank you
out of
for
here.
taking the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, babe. Thanks again to Emily for hanging out with me here on The Kyle Petty Show. You can find my full review of Joseph at thekylepettyshow.com. Follow me on Instagram, also at The Kyle Petty Show. What else? April 5th again, support the Dowdells. And I finally figured out Apple Podcasts. All right. Woo! Kyle Petty Show is finally there. Also on iHeartRadio. Does anyone care? I don't know. Just sounds good to say. I'm on iHeartRadio. Ooh, fancy, fancy. Stupid. Enough with me. Thanks so much for hanging out. We're out of here.